the IRS and for his share of their son's medical bills.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, it's case number 515 on the calendar, the matter of Van Buren versus Ackerman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Miss Van Buren, when were you and Mr. Ackerman married?
1994 to 2007.
And you have one child?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you and Mr. Ackerman live together?
We lived together probably from 1992 to 2006.
So far, is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Your
it's case
one
number
child is
515 on the calendar,
15,
the matter of Van
and
Buren
I
versus
believe from my
Ackerman.
reading of the
You're
paper
welcome,
that
Judge.
Mr.
Parties have been
Ackerman has
sworn in. You
custody
may
of
be
that child. Is
seated.
that
That's
correct?
correct.
Is that
Miss
correct?
Van Buren,
Yes,
when were you
and
and
were
Mr.
under a
Ackerman
child
married?
support order for that child?
1994. Yes, ma'am.
Is it correct
2007.
that
And
you
you have
are
one child?
currently in
Yes, ma'am.
arrears on
How
your
long
child
did you and
support
Mr.
your
Ackerman
driver's
live
license
together?
was
We
suspended
lived
because of
together
that?
probably from
Yes, ma'am.
1992
You are $15,000 in arrears?
2006.
So far, is that correct?
That is not
sir?
accurate.
Yes, ma'am.
How
Yes.
much in arrears are
Focusing
you?
on the calendar,
15,
the matter of Van
and
Buren
I
versus
believe
Ackerman.
from my reading of the
I
paper
didn't
that
actually
Mr.
come to
Ackerman has
court
custody of that
to
child.
prepare
Is
to
that correct?
prove
Is that
what
correct?
I paid on child
When
support.
were you
was
under a child
married.
support order for that child?
1994. Yes, ma'am.
On file, is it correct that you are currently in arrears
There was
on
a
your
period of
you
time
and
that
Mr.
Mr.
driver's
Ackerman's
license was suspended in January
Yes, ma'am.
of this year,
You
$15,000 in arrears. So far, is that
That
correct?
is not
Non-payment
accurate.
of child
Yes,
support
ma'am.
arrears are you
Focusing on the calendar,
15?
the matter of Van Buren
I believe
versus
drive my
Ackerman.
reading
I didn't actually
suspended in January.
Sworn in. You may be seated.
Where is it suspended? When were you under a child support order for that child? Is it correct? There was a clerical error currently in arrears on your driver's license was suspended in January of this year. You are $15,000 in arrears. Your wages are not paid on. Your one child is 15. I believe drive my reading suspended in January. Where is it suspended? When were you under a child support order for that child? Is it correct? There was a clerical error currently in arrears on your driver's license was suspended in January of this year. You are $15,000 in arrears. Your wages are not paid on. Your one child is 15. I believe drive my reading suspended in January. When did this start? Where is it suspended? When were you under a child support order for that child? Is it correct? There was a clerical error currently in arrears on your driver's license in January of this year. You are $15,000 in arrears. Your wages are not paid on. Your one child is 15. I believe drive my reading suspended in January. When did this start? Where is it suspended? When were you under a child support order for that child? Is it correct? There was a clerical error currently in arrears on your driver's license in January of this year. You are $15,000 in arrears. Your wages are not paid on. Your one child is 15. I believe drive my reading suspended in January. When did this start? Where is it suspended? When were you under a child support order for that child? Is it correct? There was a clerical error currently in arrears on your driver's license in January of this year. You are $15,000 in arrears. Your wages are not paid on. Your one child is 15. I believe drive my reading suspended in January. When did this start? Where is it suspended? When were you under a child support order for that child? Is it correct? There was a clerical error currently in arrears on your driver's You were still living together in 2009. Well, this is to you, Miss Rest 2009, indicating that there was an overpayment on his tax return of $304, but that's after the divorce.
Right, that was supposed to be a refund. And
Well, How much was to you, Ms.
I don't have the amount.
Indicating that there was an overpayment on his tax return of $304. To make it that's after the divorce, I can.
Right, that was supposed
if you
to be
don't
a
know
refund.
how much they what you do. This is to you,
Michelle Van Buren says ex-husband Chris Ackerman owes for money garnished from her account by the IRS and for half of their son's Michelle Van Buren says ex-husband Chris Ackerman owes for money garnished from her account by the IRS and for half of their Michelle Van Buren says ex-husband Chris Ackerman owes for money garnished from her account by the IRS and for half of their Michelle Van Buren says ex-husband Chris Ackerman owes for money garnished from her account by the IRS and for half
Then why did you have thousands of dollars in medical bills? Show me where they applied your insurance to his bills, and if your divorce decree provides that his father should pay for 1/2 of the unreimbursed medical bills, I'll be more than happy to award you half of
I had him covered for the month of the accident.
He wasn't insured at the time of the accident.
My sole
why did
purpose
you
was to
have
get this child
thousands
covered.
of dollars in
Because as
medical
far as I was
bills?
concerned,
Show me
it's
where
not
they
my fault that
applied
they
your
dropped my
insurance
child.
to
I had
his
always had my
bills,
child insured.
and
Ms.
if
Buren,
your
it may not
divorce
be your
decree
fault, but it's not
provides that his father should
I don't know
pay
whether
for
it's your fault or
1/2
not,
of the
but I know it's not his
unreimbursed
fault.
medical
Because
bills,
your divorce
I'll be
decree,
more
I
than
read
happy
your papers
to
very carefully
award you
provided
half
that
I will
covered for the
entertain
month.
them. And if you
For the
don't
month
have
of the
those, I
accident.
can't
He
help you.
wasn't
I don't have those documents.
insured
Well, then
at
I
the
can't
time
help
of
you,
the
Show me where they apply your insurance. But what I'm telling you is, based upon your papers that I read, provides that his father should pay for one half of the, I know it's not his fault, medical because he's divorced. I'll be more than happy to pay this very carefully provided. And if you don't have those, I can't help you. I don't have those documents. Well, then I can't help
And if you file the claim, it's your responsibility to bring the paperwork. Sit. No. Because if you knew anything, you would have to have the paperwork here.
We have paperwork.
Well, she doesn't have it here.
I'll be more than and if you don't have those, I can't help you. Well, then I can't
is suing former business associate Molly Connor for expenses she incurred while studying to become a private detective.
And if you file the claim, it's your responsibility to bring the paperwork.
And for the two reasons. You wanted to go into
because if you knew anything, you would have to have the paperwork here.
Could you stop Ms. Carmen?
Well, she doesn't have it here.
I'll be more than
setting up your you are to hire someone else and do some other paperwork in order to get your license. And you want her to pay for this. Miss Carmen wants to be compensated for her to the state of Washington. Miss Carmen supposed to get work with you, setting up you have to hire someone else and do some other paperwork in order to get your license yourself, and you want her to take Mrs. Carmen wants to be compensated for her consideration of the state of
Because their back hurt if it was undiagnosed by a doctor as a specific problem. Your first response should have been taking the child to an orthopedist, having a set of x-rays taken, and if it was something that had to be addressed by a chiropractor, it's addressed by a chiropractor. Let's hear about
AD.
When was she diagnosed as ADT?
She was diagnosed by her pediatrician, her...
Because their back hurt if it was undiagnosed by a doctor as a specific problem. So if the child was doing fine, should have been taking the child to an orthopedist, having a set of x-rays taken, and if it was something that had to be addressed by a chiropractor, it's addressed by a chiropractor.
She has, from time to time, not taken her Ritalin when she's gone to school in the morning, not known to me. And I've gotten a call from the teacher that night wanting to know what was going on with our daughter and why she was so inattentive at school.
Wasn't I informed? When was she diagnosed?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She was diagnosed by her pediatrician.
You ring a bell.
We went and had an x-ray. It was clear,
by a doctor,
and the doctor suspected that
it was fine. It wasn't pneumonia. The tried to wean her off the x-rays, you don't have pneumonia. So then it's something that's always short duration.
But it didn't go away in 4 days. And so time to time not taking her Ritalin when she's gone to school. And I called her back and she tested her for tuberculosis. And I've gotten a call from the teacher that night wanting to know what was going on with her daughter and why she was so inattentive at school.
May 18th of 95. Prescription multivitamin fluoride.
She was diagnosed by her pediatrician.
You ring a bell.
With that,
when was that?
That was almost a year ago. In
My
September.
father, Your Honor, died in September.
Yeah, but she's been going to see this Christensen all along. It didn't make any difference whether there was
Since
a death
August
or
of
not.
'93.
According to your bills here, it's at least every week that she goes to see this
At
therapist.
first it was. It was almost every week, but now she goes about once a month.
Ventolin.
That's for asthma.
I see her a third of the time. I should witness at least one episode. You'd think.
Miss Madsen, I'm just really
We went and had an X-ray.